What is up, retro movie fans? My name is Andrew Jasic alongside Matt Thrash, and welcome to the Retro Rental Review. Today we're going back in time to July 20th, 1984 to check out Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes! Yes! Did you even need to say anything else for Revenge of the Nerds? I mean...
Well, look, you and I are going to have a healthy, probably, and uncomfortable dialogue very soon. I'm just going to let you know. There's a lot of things we got to cover here. But it is starring Robert Corradine, Curtis Armstrong, Donald Gibb, Julia Montgomery, Anthony Edwards, John Goodman, and Tom McGinley. Directed by Thomas Newman with a budget of $7 million, it had $60.4 million at the box office, making it a box office smash.
Well,
IMDb gave this 6.6 out of 10.
God, they suck.
Yeah, well,
IMDb sucks.
They are kind of critical, but I will say that I might as well get this out now. I am not a fan of this movie.
Really?
Not a fan. And
you know what? I know why. It's because you were a nerd. See, I was a jock, so I love this movie. But if you were a nerd, you don't like this movie because there's a lot of nerd persecution in this.
No, it's not. Bro. I'll pick apart this movie. You'll see just how much I dislike it.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I think as like a kid I liked it, and I haven't watched it in like probably 15 years. And when I was watching it for the review, I was like, this movie's not good. It was good, but it's not good now. You know, it just aged
so funny
terribly.
Because you said you loved this movie.
I
did.
Said,
oh man, I love Revenge of the Nerds.
I was all about it. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then you watch it, and you're like, oh, man, that's not as funny as I remember it. Yeah. There's some great scenes, obviously some very memorable scenes, and we'll talk about that. And I'll give it its credit. But god damn, this movie is terrible. But but we'll talk. We will talk. And apparently you have a lot of fun facts for us, so that's exciting too.
Baby.
We'll go over all those. All right. So without further ado, let's get into Revenge of the Nerds. So we open up in the house, and Gilbert is sick in bed, or at least he looks like he's sick in bed. And he's telling his mom that he doesn't want to leave her alone. He doesn't want to go to college. You know, I mean, he's like, so first of all, he's like 20-something years old, and this is not like normal behavior for a 20-something. I know, when I was a 20-year-old, I wanted to leave the house. Did you want to leave the house when you were 20-something years old?
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, this guy is like screaming virgin, you know?
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't want to leave. He don't want to leave his mommy.
Yeah.
You know, he don't want to go to college.
That's probably the only like real woman in his life. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. But we enter in Lewis, who kisses Gilbert's mom. Isn't that weird? Did you kiss your friend's mom?
No, bro. But Lewis has a lot of questionable stuff in this movie, man.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely get into that. But, it's weird. It's like he oversteps his boundaries. I understand he's a nerd, but he seems to have like a lot of confidence. Is he just going to kiss Gilbert's mom right in front of him? That's just kind of weird.
I mean, he already comes into the movie and he already establishes a sexual dominance in the movie.
True.
Like, he just comes in and kisses his friend's mom.
Yeah, that's kind of
like, bro.
Yeah, like me and your mom. Lewis takes off Gilbert's blanket, and Gilbert's already dressed, and he shares a nice little laugh with Lewis. This is where you get Lewis's first laugh of the movie.
Come on, Gilbert, let's go to college.
The laugh was actually created by James Cromwell. There was actually an interview with James Cromwell, and he has actually said that when he came up with the nerd laugh, and after all the actors started imitating it and using it in the movie, he was driving home from like the first day of shooting Revenge of the Nerds, and he's driving home and he's like, oh, fuck. That laugh. That's my ex-wife's laugh.
Yes!
Right? Talking about getting back at your ex. Way to go, James.
So I love the Revenge of the Nerds song that's playing as they're driving to college. Lewis Gilbert and Lewis's dad.
Is that Weird Al?
That's what I thought too. I thought it was Weird Al, but and look, Weird Al has been like anything he's ever done that has like any sort of play in a movie. He's always put it on an album, like always, like George of the Jungle and Johnny Dangerously. He's always put those stuff on an album. Spy Heart. He's always put those stuff on his album. He never had this on his album, at least so far as I can tell. But it does sound a lot like Weird Al. We got to check if that's Weird Al. Let's see.
I thought it was totally Weird Al.
Well, let's put it up. Was that Weird Al?
Time has come for revenge of the nerds. Stupid! You're so stupid!
So Lewis has a really nice chat with his dad, and when Lewis gets dropped off, he gawks at some chick's ass. This is like not an ass worth gawking at. I don't know if this is like an 80s hot ass, but like they really could have picked a better actress with something a little bit more, like with more substance in her pants. Yes. You know what I mean? It
was like the 80s flatness, bro.
Yeah, dude. Nobody had any muscle tone in the 80s, including their butt cheeks. And they all walked around with like baggy shorts and
no one did squats. Absolutely, squats weren't a thing in the 80s. Apparently.
No, they didn't understand like what bun busters were and all that. Didn't come around to the 90s. Remember the bun busters? Yeah. Lewis and Gilbert see Ogre holding up some guy's feet off the balcony. I love the fact that like Ogre just like drops this guy just to give him his attention. Nerds! So we enter the Alpha Beta house and there's a huge party. Ogre is drinking out of some trophy. Stan is making out with Betty, who we'll meet later. Someone dives from the top of the stairs into an inflatable pool of beer. This is such a stretch. It's not even funny. It's just like, but it makes college look really fun. There's not one class. There's not one class in this college movie. There's not one thing they do academically. It's literally just. It's like college is the ultimate vacation.
Yes, that made college look like a blast. I mean, shit. I remember being in the 80s going, "Oh, we'll go to college."
I want to go to college now. Yeah, absolutely. I like the Alpha Beta party because some dude brings out this new fancy drink called Fireball. This is before we had the Fireball. Yeah, before we had the Fireball of today's lore. They had this stuff, which looked like, I don't know, it was vodka times 10 with like...
It looked like Everclear.
It might have been Everclear. It might have even been Everclear. I don't know, but... This dude does this trick with this fireball, just like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, but for some reason thinks it's a good idea to do it towards the drapes. And these fucking jocks. The drapes catch us on fire, and the very next thing you see is just this empty shell of what the Beta House or the Alpha Beta House used to be, and is completely burned to the ground. I love how Ogre is like roasting marshmallows and shit, you know?
The opportunist. Opportunist is Ogre.
There's always a silver lining. You know what I mean? You got to make the best of a bad situation.
Right.
So Stan, who is the lead jock of this film, rounds up the entire football team, and they decide to raid the freshman dorms because they have it better than anybody else does right now. Because obviously they still have walls and a roof.
They needed to take over the dorms because they had to focus on the upcoming football season.
Yeah, it's very important that they were they had their focus on what. So first of all, freshman dorms are terrible. If you ever been to a college campus, the freshman dorms are the absolute worst place. But it's great because I got a chuckle out of it when I was watching it. I'm literally for those of you who don't know, I'm recording this from Stanford University. This is why we're still doing this movie. We're supposed to do a video game thing, but I'm recording this from Stanford University. I've been up here for a few weeks, and they have me staying at the freshman dorms. When I tell you my freshman dorms are just like, it's not good. It is just not good. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
This is how famous good. Andy is, folks. They couldn't give him a hotel room. They gave him a freshman dorm.
Freshman dorms. I'm a 40-year-old.
You're moving on up, freshman. Baby.
That's right. Yeah. I love how like when they're raiding the dorms, the dean is looking at them in like sheer disappointment. So you get the sense that the dean is obviously he wants to help the nerds or whatever, or he wants to help the freshmen. He doesn't like the fact that the football players are being bullies, but he is a total nerd and he is absolutely terrified of the coach.
Yep, he gets bullied by the coach.
Played
by the legendary John Goodman, baby.
I love John Goodman. He's so good in everything he's in. Yeah, he's just great. All the freshmen get moved out to the basketball gym with one singular small black and white TV.
But it's like that TV was like from what, the 40s?
Oh no!
Like the first TV ever.
It was like a circular. It looked like it looked like a ball. You know what I mean? It was a weird looking TV.
It looked horrible.
Oh, with rabbit ears and shit. Oh, it was awful. Those poor guys. But they're told that this living situation is only temporary. In the meantime, they are all allowed to join a fraternity.
Yeah.
So everybody virtually in the basketball gym gets picked up to join a fraternity, except for this group of losers, and among them is Lewis and Gilbert, and then we meet Harold, who's this 12-year-old super genius kid.
He was a 10-year-old kid with big ass buck teeth. In fact, fun fact, did you actually know that they premiered the movie on his teeth?
It took a second for me to get it.
Gotcha!
I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, okay. All right, that was, okay, you got me. Oh, Thrash. We also meet Poindexter, who is just some nerd who can't see. I love like how thick his glasses are. And the gag of the entire film is he can't see anything in front of him.
Who's Poindexter?
Who is it?
Okay, Poindexter is
he
basically today's teen. No, Poindexter is today's teen eating fucking Tide Pods and shit.
Oh, totally.
Or like challenges. Like was he not? And drinking like dish soap and burping up bubbles or whatever the fuck kids do nowadays? I don't know.
Dude, they had the condom challenge where you'd snort in a condom in one nostril and pull it out the other. It was like, it was, I mean, but this is the cool generation, I guess. That's all right. We also meet Lamar, who is a African American screaming queen. And there's no other way to describe him other than just this incredibly stereotypical ultra homosexual. Like it was like he was like the homosexual boss. You know what I mean? If homosexuals had a leader, it would be Lamar. And and this is like one of the problems that I had with the movie is because it was cute. These are all people that you would make fun of. These people that are just like nerds or whatever. But that was a character that they really chose to like dress him up like that and made him talk that way and have him walk with his limp wrists and all that.
Yes.
And I felt, dude, I was just like I don't want to be that guy. But that's kind of fucked up, isn't it?
It is. But
you know what I mean? Dude, like even for the 80s.
Dude, back in the 80s, like this was the kind of behavior that was acceptable.
We didn't have like and we'll see a lot of it throughout the film, and I think that's one of my biggest problems for the film. And I understand it was a different time, but goddamn, did they fuck with a lot of people? You know what I mean? Like the actors that played these people must have felt horrible. And including the next one. So we meet Toshiro, who is
Takeshi,
bro, who is just like
the Japanese stereotype, bro.
Super Japanese, like really ridiculous. You ever seen WrestleMania 9? And Todd Pettengill's in the audience, like during the break, and he's like, "Who's gonna win this?" And then you see like two Japanese guys, like, "Yokozuna number one."
Yeah,
that's him,
bro.
And then we meet Booger, who's probably my favorite nerd of the group. So what's weird is like I don't see how Booger is considered a nerd. You know what I mean?
I know, right?
He doesn't give a shit about anything. I felt he could fit better in with the jocks, but he just wasn't like athletic. He drank a lot of beer. But anyway, that was Booger.
He was like the college. He was like the college dude, Booger. Like if I were to go to anyone's party, I'd be like, "Who's throwing it? Booger. I'm going.
Fuck yeah, I'm going
it's
to that
gonna be
party.
Fun.
Just don't eat the chips.
Don't eat the guacamole.
Don't eat the guacamole. Somewhat deterred, Lewis and Gilbert go walking around trying to get suggestions for what fraternity they could possibly join, and they come across the Pi fraternity. And Betty, so this is a fraternity full of cheerleaders. They talk to Betty outside, and she suggests that Lewis and Gilbert join the Alpha Beta fraternity.
You guys are Alpha Beta material.
Oh, so you guys are Alpha Beta? Yeah, I know. And it was like anybody. It's weird because of how smart these guys are. They're just like insanely gullible.
But also, would you have known? Like, if you're like just there, and I mean, the jocks came over and kicked everyone out, but would you know that they're actually the Alpha Betas, or would you just know that that's the football team?
There is never a movie in the history of anything, especially retro, where anything involving the word beta in college movies was a good place to be.
Yeah,
they were always the assholes, the jocks, probably Alpha too. But anytime anybody was like, "Oh, the Beta House" or the Betas or whatever, it's always some fucking dickbags.
Yeah, it's always the preps, the jocks,
the preps,
just somebody that you don't want to hang out with.
Yeah, and that's where she told him to go.
Yeah, and also we mentioned Lewis and Gilbert. Did you recognize Gilbert from anything else? Another big '80s movie, perhaps. That's Goose. That's Goose from Top Gun.
Wasn't Goose Val Kilmer?
No, Goose. Val Kilmer was Iceman. Goose was Gilbert, whatever his name is.
Tom Skerritt.
What? What the fuck?
You're so stupid!
Tom Skerritt. Tom Skerritt was like the teacher in Top Gun.
Okay, listen. Goose
is Anthony Edwards.
Okay, all right. So let's
Tom Skerritt. That's Goose.
Tom Skerritt. Okay, so if we haven't figured it out yet, okay, I have a very, very deep confession to make. I have never seen Top Gun. So they enter in the Alpha Beta's house, and as soon as they enter, it's all dark, and there is an altar of sacrifice ahead of them. This should have been their cue, you know. It's not necessarily said, but it is insinuated when they get handed a couple of used rubbers that they must fuck a goat.
Right? They're fucking livestock of some sort.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the thing. They have to bang this farm animal.
But I mean, wasn't that hazing back in college? I mean, you were in the Navy. Didn't you get hazed in the Navy?
I have never fucked a farm animal. I can't say anybody.
Wasn't it a dolphin because you were on the boat?
That's what it was. Yeah, we had some mackerel.
The skin is so smooth.
But Gilbert and Lewis return to the gymnasium covered in feathers, and obviously they're not incredibly happy to be back because they obviously got hazed.
Oh yeah.
But we then cut to Gilbert meeting Judy. During the scene, it's sweet because Gilbert draws this animation on the computer, and it's like a picture of him and a picture of her kind of dancing together and holding hands.
Yeah.
We then cut to the locker room where the jocks have just gotten done doing practice, and Toshiro is holding a basket, I guess, to have for all of the jock straps.
Takeshi, you racist bastard!
No.
Takeshi!
No, listen, his name is Toshiro Takeshi. Look,
Takeshi, you racist bastard!
No.
Takeshi!
No, he has. Look, I'm gonna look this up right now.
One eternity later.
Toshiro Takashi. So I was right.
No, I'm racist.
You are racist. Yes.
So I'm fine when it comes to Chinese people, but Japanese people completely unacceptable.
Gone. Yep, absolutely. Well, who's to say that chick was Chinese in it? You are racist. You're a racist human being. You got a problem. You got a problem. You got a problem. So Toshiro is holding up a basket for all of these used jock straps, and they're all throwing it at him or whatever. So here's the first like super duper racist comment of the movie is when Stan asks him.
This is the first racist comment. This is the first.
To be fair, it's only 10 minutes in. So to be fair, but Stan asks him if he knows karate.
You know karate? No. Good.
How many like jocks like actually took their used fucking sweaty jock strap and just put it over the head of the nerdy kid?
So all the nerds, because they're all tired of being inside the gym, they all split up to find rooms for rent. I love the different characters that they meet. Like Lamar, for example, meets a bear, like and not like a bear, like a bear, like, you know what I mean? One of those guys that have like the big furry gay heavy-set guys. They call them bears in the gay community. One of the people that Harold meets is this very older heifer type chick who is like totally coming on to him.
God, that was creepy.
It's awkward, right? And again, this is how different the 80s were. The 80s were all fucked up in their morals and conscience. You'd never see that on TV. Like in movies nowadays, you'd never see like insinuation of like it would be funny if like an adult like hit on like an underage child, regardless of the gender.
Yeah. Like that shit's not funny anymore.
Super, super, super duper weird. Lewis says he found a house and brings them all to see it, and it's a complete shithole. It looks like the house from the It 2020 remake. It's just like this disgusting, dilapidated thing. So you get the typical 80s montage of the nerds cleaning and fixing the house up. You have to have a montage in an 80s film. It has to happen, and this is ours.
Open your eyes, prepare for surprise. A dream in disguise, you know we can have it.
As they're eating breakfast in their brand new house, a rock comes flying through the window, and on the rock it says, "Nerds, get out." So the nerds go to campus police, and campus police says there's absolutely nothing they can do and refers them to the Greek Council. The problem with this is the Greek Council is actually run, the president of the Greek Council is Stan.
Motherfucker!
Stan denies their chance to form a fraternity because they don't have a national sponsor.
Yes.
So they reach out to a bunch of national fraternities and get rejected by 29, except for one that actually wanted to represent them possibly, called Lambda Lambda Lambda, which is an all-black fraternity.
Yes. Yes.
I don't understand, like, you know, I get, like, okay, the rejection letters, and obviously a lot of people didn't want to work with them. I don't see how, like, the all-black fraternity was the ones that said, maybe, you know.
Well, because if you remember, all 29, they sent in a picture of their group, except for the Lambdas. So that's why the Lambdas said, oh, yeah, we'll meet with them.
You're so stupid!
But did you see the face?
Oh, they're
like,
pissed.
Just that stern look, that pissed off. Like, he looked like the teacher you had, like your math teacher, and was just always disappointed in you because you didn't know how to fucking multiply compound fucking fractions. Yep. Fuck math.
Jesus Christ.
I hate math.
No, wait. We're not. Wait, we have to get back on topic here. We have to.
Yes. All right. Get back on topic. Don't talk about math anymore, Andy.
Sorry, I just. What was that? We can't even see each other. This is just all bullshit for show. The Trilambs agree to have the nerds join on a probationary basis based on their bylaws that they have to give them 60 days as a probation. So Lewis goes up to the Pies and tells them that he wants them to be their date on Saturday for this party that they're having. Betty takes that information and brings it up to Stan, who is working out with Ogre. What the fuck motion was Stan doing with the ball?
Dude,
like what is
not? No, I have never seen. It was like I don't know, the swim.
I put it in my notes. I was like,
what
this
is he
dude is
doing?
swimming. He's swimming.
Like, you're gonna tear your rotator cuff, asshole. Fucking Jefferson Darcy, motherfucker, doing the wrong fucking workout and shit.
And that's the thing, like, Ted McGinley is like a super good-looking guy. Like, he's been on the Love Boat, and he's every role he has, he's always like this pretty boy. You know what I mean? But he doesn't. He doesn't work out.
That's right. I feel like I'm in fucking Normandy with all the goddamn planes flying over.
Oh shit! The bombs!
Lewis, great party.
Thanks.
So we then actually cut to the party, and the Pies are just not coming. They're just not there. And the sponsors of the Trilambs are there, and they're trying to see how cool this party is. And it's like the lamest fucking party in the world. But Judy says that she can call over her sorority, which is the Omega Moos. So the Omega Moos come over, and it is this group of fat and homely women. You see, that's what I'm saying. There was no subtlety in the 80s. Like, you know, like the fat chicks in the car with what was it? The Killer Clowns from Outer Space eating all the ice cream. And just like all these fat heifers and these mullet-ridden beasts, wildebeest. They did a stampede inside the party, and now they're there.
And you got Takochi, whatever his name is, running around going, hair pie? Because of course he has to have a camera, because that's the Japanese stereotype.
Yep. They're always
of course
taking
he's got to
pictures.
be running around taking pictures of girls' vaginas. Oh, thank you. Oh, God damn it, this movie is racist.
It's racist. I'm telling you, it's stereotypical up the ass. It's crazy. So the Lambda guys are obviously not happy about this shitty, awkward party. But Booger has some sort of a solution. And the party, for some reason, now starts to come alive. So then we have...
Everyone's high as shit.
Everyone's high as shit. We have Michael Jackson playing. It's just an amazing party. Harold is talking to two women, but of course he's only eye level with their tits. So he just glances back and forth, just looking at tits. This is the second time that we're insinuating some sort of statutory problem in this movie.
Yeah.
And Harold looks at the camera and smiles. But, you know, I get it. I would have done that too at like 10 years old. Oh, my God, those teeth, bro. Those teeth. I hope they
He's
were
a
fake.
vampire, bro.
Yeah, they're like Nosferatu. Booger is dancing with a couple of fat chicks and squeeze their asses, and like it's like weird because like in the scene, like he would have had, unless they had pads on their ass, like the actor is like literally he's pulling their butt cheeks apart.
You Moose sure knew how to party.
Moose sure know how to party. Oh, it's disgusting. Lewis ends up getting lucky and bangs some chick, and just after that, the party gets spoiled. All the people attending the party go outside only to see the alpha betas on a hay bale truck,
Right.
singing Old MacDonald at them. And they then decide it's probably a good idea to moon them. And in today's age of 4K, you can clearly see it's like 100%. It's there. You see Ogre's hairy butthole.
Bro. Also,
and his coin
it's like,
purse.
bro. It's like, bro, before shooting the scene, like
he could have
you need to
manscaped
wipe
a
that
little.
ass, bro.
Yeah.
Like maybe get some shears up in there, because like that image haunts me, bro.
Ooh, I don't remember that from the, you know what I mean? It's probably because I had like a shitty TV with a really fat back, when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was a CRT, baby.
But looking at this, it's just like, that's an asshole, and that's a coin purse, and it's like... Gilbert then tells the group they need to become the best fraternity on campus, which means they absolutely have to win the homecoming carnival that's coming up so they can take over presidency of the Greek Council.
Right.
Lewis also has a plan.
Ready, Raid!
There are so many tits in this scene, it's not even funny. It's just like
so many tits.
a cacophony
All
of
the tits.
Screams and tits. Just a...
And dude, like Betty, who was pretty hot. Dude, her nipples were weird.
Dude, her tits were weird. They were like past her elbows.
Yeah.
They were perky, but they were like out to here.
Yeah, it's like you'd have to put her in a full Nelson to lick them.
The nerds go back to the house to see all the live footage that they got going on now because they put cameras inside the house. Poindexter is apparently very excited too because he ends up nutting in his pants. So we enter the locker room of the football players and they're all getting massaged, and the nerds find that the doctor or the massage therapist is using this thing called liquid heat, which
Yes.
somebody notates that it burns their shoulders when he rubs it on them. So they get the idea to squirt this all over their jock straps and make this jock strap soup with this liquid heat. We then cut to John Goodman talking to the players on the outside as they're all dressed up. This is right before practice is supposed to start, giving this motivational speech. And I love the fact that during this time, like slowly, they all start kind of dancing funny because they're all starting to burn.
We can't let
And he's like, are you with me? And they're like, yeah. And as Ogre is running back to the showers, John Goodman takes a second of pause and says, shit, we forgot to practice.
Shit, we forgot to practice.
So the Trilambda announces that the nerds have actually made it into their fraternity, so now they can participate in a chapter at their school. As the nerds celebrate, a sign is ignited in their backyard that just says nerds. Like, they keep fucking with them. That's horrible. Like, these poor guys. Terrible.
Big old burning sign in their yard.
Like
This
a
is
burning...
nerds.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's remnants of a burning cross.
Yes.
This movie.
This movie, man, I'm telling you. The
movie.
racism, I think I have to take a shower after this review.
It's way darker than it used to be. Like it used to be as a kid. And now knowing what you have, you're like, oh, that's kind of fucked up.
You watch it, you're like, I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know if I like that. So they take this matter to the Greek Council, and Stan denies the motion to vote because only the president can call for a vote. So they say they absolutely have to win the homecoming carnival so they can get control of that Greek Council so they can put a stop to all this nerd prosecution.
Yes.
We then cut to the homecoming carnival, which starts with a bicycle race where you have to take 20 laps, and every lap they must drink a beer. So first of all, this is the first time the song that's in this scene is just so cool. And I never knew what this song was up until like I had kids. And I was like, I recognize this song. I know what this song is. But when I was younger, I was like, that's a cool little song. It's a little jingle or whatever. It's this Japanese song. And it's not it's not a Japanese song. It's not. That's the guy who plays Toshiro singing that song. But that is
no way.
That song is called it's and you might even heard it. It's called Daisy Daisy.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer to.
My God, really?
So the first time I ever heard it, I was just like, "What is this? It's a great song." And then when I had kids, like one of the songs that was playing was this Daisy Daisy bicycle thing. And I was like, what the hell is that? That sounds so familiar. And then it just clicked. I was like, oh my God, that's the same song. So it makes sense because he was on a little bicycle doing the laps and he's singing about it. Yeah. So I had no idea. I'm sure back then they knew. But yeah, it's a pretty neat scene. But what they do is they give Toshiro a pill that counteracts all of the alcohol. So he is able to do laps. I love as like he's like midway through. They're like, "How are you?" And he's like,
Oh, fucking great.
Go, go, go!
So next we go to the Trojan horse. And I love how Ogre is basically just chilling on the horse, like so much so he has time to relax and drink his trophy beer. And nobody can buck that motherfucker.
But I loved when they bopped off Poindexter and just the noises Poindexter made. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That was funny. It was good. It was good.
That part was hilarious.
Next is the arm wrestling contest, and all of these girls beat all of the nerds.
Yes.
Ogre is barely able to skate by beating one of the fat heifers. And
the moose.
One of the moos. They should just call it the Fat Heifer Fraternity. Heifer. The tri-H's.
The tri-hefs.
The tri-hefs. Oh, that'd be a cool fraternity. I guess it's a sorority, but you can't tell by looking at them. Booger picks his nose and grabs the chick hand, and she's so grossed out that he slams it down, and that's how he wins.
The hero.
He's a nasty
The hero.
He is. Next is the tug of war, and I love how the nerds just say, okay, we're not going to beat this anyway. So they just kind of let go of the rope, and all of the alpha betas fall on their back. And Harold is the first one to say, you win! Yeah, that was cool. Until we get to the belching contest, and it comes down to Ogre and Booger. Ogre lets out a very impressive burp, but nothing can beat the burp that Booger had. Next is the javelin throw, and I'll tell you this. God, this movie, it's fucked up.
You know what, though? I don't care. The actor that played Lamar,
he killed it. He did a good job.
Whether he was gay or not, the man took the role and he just said, you know what? Fuck it. If they want me to play a gay black dude, I'm going to play a gay black dude. Sure. And when he goes to throw that javelin, and he's like running, and he's got like the smile, and it's all in slow motion. And when he throws that floppy dongly shell, I was like, yes, get it, Lamar.
So we then cut to the charity portion of the carnival, and the alpha betas are holding a kissing booth. So it's weird because, like, I don't know, maybe Stan and Betty are like just super comfortable in their relationship, and it's okay to like kiss other people. But Betty comes up to Stan and says, "All of this kissing has made me horny." Like, wouldn't that bother you? As a boyfriend, I'd be like, "It did it?"
What do you mean? What do you mean it makes you horny?
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? Like, maybe seeing me makes you no, it's all these kissing these random dudes made me horny. She said, "Let's go to the back," and he says, "Oh, you're like a goat." So she blows him off. But it was interesting because Stan came in with like this little plastic mask on, and
it was like
Lewis,
a weird Darth Vader knockoff
this
mask.
Darth Vader weird mask. They probably didn't have the rights to use. But Lewis sees this mask, and after getting rejected by Betty to get a kiss, he puts the mask on and follows Betty into the fun house. So
Yes.
he's trying to trick Betty into believing that he is Stan.
Yes.
And they end up banging on the moon. I think
Yes.
this is so okay. So I get that you want to kind of get back at people, but so first of all, you broke into their house and you stole their panties, and now you're pretending to be somebody else so you can bang this unsuspecting girl. Like,
Yes.
not to mention all of the older people that are going after Harold. There is just so much deviant sexuality going on in this film. It's not even funny.
Yes.
And that's why you
it's
can't remake it.
uncomfortable.
It's
uncomfortable.
looking at it from today's standpoint, you're like, that's kind of fucked up. You know?
Yeah, it's
you know?
like, oh my God, like he just
Horrible, just horrible.
but then
it,
like afterwards they tried to make it like, oh, it's okay, like because he was
'cause-
so good at it.
yeah,
It's
so
like
he was.
that is not okay.
It's still not okay. Like, you know, her first. Oh, you're that nerd. Oh, that's exciting. No, go to the police.
Go to the police. Go get Stan.
Go get
Have
Stan.
Stan bring Ogre.
The nerds are selling pies and doing much better than the alpha betas are at their kissing booth. And nobody can quite figure out why. So Stan sends Ogre to go get a pie. And as Ogre is eating the pie, it is revealed that underneath this pile of whipped cream is just a naked picture of Betty. I love Stan's face as he looks up, like a real nice close-up, and he says, "That's my pie." We then come to the final portion of the carnival, where it is a musical and skit show.
Oh boy.
The alpha betas are doing a cheer in drag as the pies are the football players. So there's a nice little reversal of roles or whatever. And people in the crowd are like, "Yeah, that's so good." Like, no, it's kind of stupid, but it is what it is. And the coach is loving it. You know what I mean? Like this burly coach who has just been like, "Oh, you gotta win." It's just like sitting back in the audience.
Kill him. He's like, look, Stan looks good in a dress, doesn't he?
I can still see Ogre's coin purse in the dress. He had the hairiest asshole. Like, we have to.
Bro, it was. I'm telling you,
it's like he sat. It's like he put honey on his butt cheeks and sat in a barber shop. I don't want to do the rest of the review. Let's just talk about Ogre's butthole first. So the Alpha Betas are doing their amazing show, but it gets interrupted by fireworks. This is actually coming from the booth that the nerds are performing in, and then we get that iconic dance scene. The nerds end up winning the whole carnival, and this is Betty's cue to leave Stan. So, you know, it's funny because, like, Betty's like, you know, like, oh, now I'm in love with a nerd. Like, no, you're not. You're following the winners around. You know, she's like the Sunny of this movie. You know, she's just going from, like, the winners to the winners, you know. And that's like a victory to the nerds. It's really weird.
You should be in shock. You should be at the police station. There should be no nerd concert. They should all be getting arrested because they just raided the house and found all the footage of all y'all naked.
Yeah,
all y'all boobies and vag and all over the place. They caught
didn't even mention that the footage. Yeah, so they've hidden cameras in the house and shit. And like, this is supposed to be a win. You know, like they got this girl. You know what I mean? Like, no, bitch, she still has trauma. She's not thinking clearly. That's the problem.
Yes.
She needs to go to the police. Betty, go to the police. If you're still around, Betty, please just go. It's not too late. There's no statute of limitations here. Go.
Just pick up the phone. Yeah. Call the police.
just go. Please call the police. Oh, there they are again. They're back.
Actually, I think that's someone like fucking, I don't know, drilling or some shit. I don't know. This fucking house, man. I swear to God.
So the coach comes in and he says he wants to see Stan and the rest of the girls in the locker room right now.
Yes.
I love this speech that John Goodman gives everybody about like how their dad is like was so proud of them as a baby and can't wait to have this son.
Well, look at you now.
You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds.
But he gives them a motivational speech and tells them not to take that laying down and go out and get your revenge on the nerds. So they decide to go out and destroy the nerds' brand new house. Just absolutely obliterate it.
Fucked up.
But
was it though? But was it fucked up?
Well, they kind of deserved it. They kind of deserved it. And you know what? And I guarantee you, during that time, like maybe they were just going to go knock on the door and say, "Hey, listen, you guys, that was kind of mean of you." And then they saw the TVs on with all the live feed of the Bush.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Okay, now we got to destroy this house." So technically, the Alpha Betas are the hero of the film.
The Alpha Betas are the hero of the film.
Yeah, absolutely. See, we've been watching it wrong all these years.
Seriously, dude, I'm telling you, when you watch it now as an adult in today's world in 2023, it is a whole different movie.
When the nerds come back to the house, Gilbert tells Lewis that he's done with all their bullshit, so he decides to crash the Alpha Betas pep rally that they have going on. The Alpha Betas see Gilbert and throw him inside of a fountain. This poor guy.
If only he had a wingman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if only he had a wingman. I'll never see it.
I know you have no idea what I'm talking about.
I'll never see it. I'll never ever see it. I have no interest. I've never had. Trevor is like he's bugging me about it for years. I'll never ever see that film.
Well, just to let you all know, our next review is going to be Top Gun.
No, please.
And it's going to be a great review. So comment below if you want us to do Top Gun.
Oh, if
hashtag Andy will see Top Gun. Hash it.
I hope not.
Hash it, baby.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's get back to the review. So Gilbert gets out of the fountain and goes to grab the mic. And the Alpha Betas are doing everything they can to keep him away from the mic. But the Dean finally intervenes. The coach tries to punk out the Dean. But then, to the rescue, comes the Lambdas. This is hard.
What, were you not cheering at this point when all the Lambdas came and they stood right in front of the stage? Were you not just like, yes, the Lambdas are gonna fuck them up?
It was kind of cool, but it's just like, again, the stare. I don't know, man.
It was definitely.
Yeah. It certainly was. Yeah. So, time to hit that dusty trail.
Time to go.
Gilbert gets on the mic and gives a speech that says he's basically proud of being a nerd. And Lewis joins in and tells all of the nerds in the audience to join them to end nerd prosecution. So everybody in the audience gets up. The jocks are left standing up there, and nobody is supporting them anymore because now they're all involved with Lewis and Gilbert because they all said that they were once nerds.
Yep.
It's kind
Even though they committed.
It's kind of a touching
committed
scene.
horrible things.
Yeah,
Everyone stood with them at the end.
Join the sexual deviants if you've ever, if you've ever sexually assaulted somebody. Come join us in the center of the.
Come join us,
you
sexual assaultants! You.
I'm proud of that. As he gets led away in handcuffs, I'm proud of that.
I'm proud. That's a win, baby.
I thought this was America.
I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
The dean says that nerds can have their old dorms back and sends the Alpha Betas to go to the gym. The crowd chants nerds as Betty and Lewis kiss. As We Are the Champions plays, the screen fades to black, and that is Revenge of the Nerds.
And that is Revenge of the Racists.
Revenge of the Sexual Assaultants. It was...
Yeah.
It's not good. I don't care. It's not a good film. It was good when you didn't know what good movies were, but it's just not good. This is probably one of the more disappointing films we've done.
It was rough to watch. It was rough to watch in today's world. When I was a kid, I loved this movie. I rented this movie all the time.
100%. I love this film. I absolutely love this film. I had it. I recorded it. I watched it ad nauseum when I was a child, and then just like, you look at it through the eyes of an adult, and you're like,
And weren't there like four others? Weren't there like four movies total or something?
There was four. Yeah, there was three others. There was four other movies. I've seen them all. I've seen every single one.
Yeah.
And they're I don't remember them. See, that's the thing is, I was gonna tell you, I was like, oh, the rest of them are great, but I thought this one was great. So you don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're in for. So we might have to do like the other three. I hope not.
We're gonna have to do them. I mean, if we're gonna do House 2 and 3, we're gonna have to do Revenge of the Nerds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
We should have like a month where all we do is sequels. That would be, That'll be nice.
We should.
Yeah.
The month
But-
of sequels.
The month of sequels. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe we can do that in like September or something. Okay, so there you go. Not my favorite film at all, but it's still a classic and it's a retro film. So hope you all enjoyed that. We should be back with the gameplay next week, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, as soon as Andy comes back from Berkeley or Stanford, wherever the hell he is,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
living that college dream.
It's pretty cool and it's pretty exciting. But nonetheless, I'd love doing the movie reviews. The movie reviews is kind of where that's where we kind of set our foundation on. So I'm happy to do it. Believe me, I had a blast. And even with this one, that would just made me incredibly uncomfortable. I still love doing this review. So, but
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was cool. But and we're continuing to climb. There's a lot of subscribers. We're getting, I think, just in the It 2 video, we just climbed over 100, and now we're nearing like 114. I think was the last number that we saw.
Yes.
So
yes.
yeah, thank you all very much for subscribing. It's great. Welcome to the family. We're gonna be doing these all the time. So. And speaking of which, Thrash, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time for the Retro Rental Review.